The sounds of machine guns trail in the background, cries of men wailing duets with the cadence of thumps from King's quickened heartbeats. The bang of firecrackers increases as King is being snatched down by a brother on his squad. King was disposing himself to open fire. He noticed he wasn't anticipating fear as he stepped on the battlefield, but the same couldn't be said for his brothers. Many of them anticipated dread, which was more crippling than fear itself. King realized that they were all pushed into war without proper training. As he scrambles back to his feet, his squad makes their way towards the street, intensely scanning everything and everyone. Keep on anything that appears out of place. He was a gunner in his unit. He was confident in his training and somehow disappointed in how some of his brothers were being consumed with fear, forgetting
their training. King used fear as fuel. His brothers moved cautiously across the street. King was the last gunner. As proficient as he was, the enemy was skilled as well. They were effective with their use of improvised explosive devices. So good that King misses one right near him. He remembers being lost in a time as he becomes enamored with the fireball floating over top of him. It was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. Light moves faster than time, and just before King can gather himself to move, he places both hands over his ears in an attempt to muffle the ringing sound. He feels the flesh of his eyebrows burning. The aroma from the flesh burning nauseates him. The blast to his face sent energy sparks firing through him. His brain and his teeth rattle at the same time as his body slumps to the ground. He screams out as a gentle touch caresses his face. He reaches out to meet the hand, but she rejects his touch. He attempts again. He anticipates it to be usual face from his past, but as the person turns around, it's different. King had allowed one woman insight into his deepest fears and pain. She comforted his internal wounds like a blanket. He tunes his focus, and it's a different familiar face. It's Mahogany, and her face is illuminated. King reaches out as he tumbles to the floor. The crash onto the hardwood jolted him from his dream state. He was drenched in sweat.
He lay on the floor panting. He had no idea how Mahogany entered into a space he only gave one woman access to. After seconds pass by, he finds himself calling out numbers each time his chest rises. He left music playing in the background as he slept, and the wise words of Lauryn Hill trailed through the air and linger in King's mind. It can all be so simple, but you'd rather be. 200 push ups later, he was ready to start his morning workout. He ran until the sun came up and then headed to the gym. He found himself wanting to lift more than usual, so he did. This allowed him to clear his head and focus on something else besides Mahogany. He couldn't grapple her replacing the blanket that he knew well, the blanket that comforted him when he awakened from night terrors, the blanket he shared years and anticipated a lifetime with. It worked. After his shower, the nightmares of battle no longer haunted his waking thoughts. King was still a creature of habit. His respite was time with only himself, fitness, and the words of 16th century writers as company.